All
Can
right.
you
Okay. So tell you
do
what,
it?
I will remove you and then add you.
Okay, yeah, that
All
would be
right.
good.
Okay. All right. So make you. All right. There we go.
Uh,
Okay.
Still,
You know what?
uh,
Tell you what. I will. I also have your charts open. Maybe I'll. You just tell me what to do, and I'll share your charts on my screen.
okay.
All right. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Yeah. So go to the first one. This is not the first slide. Go to the first slide on top.
Okay. So this. Okay. This chart.
Yeah, this is the first one, and then make it like a make it okay. If you make it,
Bigger. Is this good?
yeah. Can you go to the next slide?
Okay. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Okay.
So, as Muhammad said, that I'm Aisha Siddiqui. I'm the founder of CHAT, this nonprofit organization, and the mission of the organization is to improve the health and well-being of immigrants and refugees through education, arts, advocacy, and access to care. And we envision a community that is self-sufficient and meets the everyday challenges of living in a diverse society. Next slide, please. So we have a lot of programs. Uh, uh, Hold on. I unfortunately,
Well, what happened? Did,
can you still see me or the presentation?
no, I think the presentation's not there anymore.
Uh,
Do you want me to stop sharing?
no, because now you cannot see my screen. I mean, it worked very well when we tested it.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Would it be of any help if we were to drop off our videos?
No,
Give
no,
us
I
more
think
bandwidth.
it's not that. I when we start tested before everyone joined, then I was able to share my screen, and now that I share my screen, then I cannot show the presentation. So that's what happened.
All right. Do you want to try it again? I can get out.
No,
Do you want me to go back and share your charts from my computer?
yeah, I think that's the only thing we can do, right? Because I'm trying, but I cannot
Okay.
share.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, so as you said, that when I was at the UT School of Public Health, I wanted to incorporate my background and my interest in public health. And I was working on my dissertation. I had focus groups and key informant interviews. We would go in the Southwest Houston area, in the Gulfton area, and meet with the women. Mostly at that time, it was South Asian women. And the reason that I decided to use that population or that community to do the focus group and key informant interviews because I knew them. I used to live in Southwest Houston and I had that opportunity to see firsthand that how people are living in isolated situations. So I just wanted to know why or what can be done or why people are not assimilating or they are not acculturating. So that's why I started talking to them. But then after talking to them and after collecting the data and finishing my doctorate, I decided that I will not just leave them. I cannot just move on and do something else. And at that time, I told my husband that I just want to work in this community. And that's how Chat started. Honestly, I didn't want to start a non-profit organization. I had no interest in creating an organization. I just wanted to help these people. But what happened is that that I realized that as an individual, I cannot go very far. So I have to have an organization if I want to do some meaningful work or if I want to make a difference. So that's how Chat started at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. Yeah, so the next slide.
Okay.
And with the focus group realized that some of their daily challenges include raising children in a system that they were very unfamiliar with, while feeling increasingly alone. And documenting, like I said, their stories made me feel that I have to continue to work with them. Next slide. This is our board. Dr. Raj Shigog is the board president. He's a professor at UT School of Public Health, where I went to school. Suzanne Abadi is the general secretary. She works for the one of the hospital systems. Katie is a board treasurer, and Eric is a board member. Most of these people are somehow related to the healthcare field. Next slide, please. So when we talk of public health, the first thing that comes to mind is the social determinants of health. And this is a painting that our children, the kids who come to our programs, I will tell you a little later what programs run. So this is the painting that they made, and it shows what are the social determinants of health. And these are the daily life condition in which people are born, grow, work, play, live, and age, such as income, education, employment status, food, housing, basic amenities, and the environment, social inclusion, access to affordable healthcare services. And research shows that the social determinants can be more important than healthcare or lifestyle choices in influencing health. I mean, you can think of it as an example. If there is a stream of dirty water, and if a child drinks from that stream, the child will get sick, and then we will treat that child. So treating that child is access to care or just healthcare, but cleaning that stream of water is public health, where you take care of it so that no more kids get sick or other people don't get sick drinking that dirty water. So it's very similar, where we change the entire their living conditions. And we have many programs under that, like, for example, Chat Academy, which is after school homework help, and then women ESL classes, and computer classes. Unfortunately, it's very hard for us to engage men in that community. So a lot of programs, they start out as a family for the entire family, but usually women and children take advantage of it. We are also in schools, and we do social emotional learning programs. The program is called Girls Club for Success in schools where only girls participate. In middle school and then elementary school, it's called the Melting Pot, because both boys and girls participate in that same class. So it's a co-ed program. Next slide, please. So Southwest Houston, like I said before, I have lived in Southwest Houston and I knew about Southwest Houston. Southwest Houston provides an astonishing canvas for a multicultural community. And in this area, 68% of the population speaks a language other than English at home. Actually, it's more than that now. And estimates indicate that over 60 languages are spoken in the Gulfton-Sharpstown area. And Houston receives more refugees than any other city in the United States. And many come from communities from part of the world that are torn through the war and violence. And then a lot of these people have lived successful lives in previous homeland but found themselves marginalized in what was their new home. And this seclusion is a barrier to acceptance, acculturation, and advancement. I mean, the biggest barrier is a language barrier, because people maybe like they could be successful physicians or dentists or professors, teachers, whatever different fields they have chosen. But if they cannot speak English, then it's very hard to assimilate in the United States. We are still not ready where people can just come and adjust themselves. So I think that barrier is really very difficult, and it causes them to lose their self-esteem and their confidence. So that's the thing that we work on a lot. Next slide, please. So while they're provided with many essentials, like a lot of time people say, oh, they get food stamps or they get Medicaid and then other things, but these immigrants and refugees often grapple with isolation and loss of control. These pockets of society face distinctive struggles due to language and cultural barrier, and most newcomers feel acculturative stress in the area of spoken English, employment, and limited formal education. And then the risk of mental health issues in immigrant and refugees closely linked to acculturative stress. And that's the thing. A lot of people, when they go through, it's not just that they are economically disadvantaged, but also they feel very lonely. They left, like currently we have a lot of Afghan refugees, so they left everyone back home. They are alone here, and in the mothers are very very young in this particular refugee group, because the women get married very early, so the entire village raises the kid. They have 6, 8, 10 kids, but like husband's family and wife's family, everybody lives together, so they support them, and then the neighbors, and then the extended family. But here they are completely isolated and alone, and there is no one. Like a lot of times I'll get calls that I'm lost, and I would ask, how are you lost? Because they cannot read the signs, they're in English. They cannot ask anyone for directions because they don't speak it. So those are the challenges that no one may know unless they work with this group. Next, please. So as a public health professional, we did not want to go in the community and tell them what to do. So that's another thing. Like we cannot just say, you know what, you need this, or we will do this for you. You need this kind of help. We go and then we talk to them. We do focus groups. We do key informant interviews. And according to our needs assessment survey, the most pressing barrier affecting the health of the community is the inability to speak English. And the key informant interviews confirmed that a lack of ability to speak English affected education, parents' engagement, civic engagement, transportation, and inability to use local resources. And parents in the focus groups extended this analysis further, noting that it has affected their ability to guide their children on how to best prepare themselves for their future education. I mean, imagine if we cannot guide our children, if we cannot tell them or cannot help them when they are little. And then a lot of people felt that back home they used to get like a report card, and the kids will bring their papers, and parents were able to see what they are doing. But here everything comes electronic, and then their grade comes electronic. So they not only that they do not have computers, but also they do not have the know-how of accessing all those things. So that's really very very difficult, and they feel that it's disconnecting them with their children from their children, because the kids feel like my parents are not able to help. And a lot of time the kids are adults in the situation where they go and translate for their parents, so the kids take the adult role, and that's when the parents lose their control. So that's another thing that they are struggling with. Next, please. So one of our program that we did in the community when we were doing focus groups, we did not have like much space to do programming or something, but we decided to do a story time. And then this was one of our most popular programs. And since it gave the children an opportunity to connect with our volunteers and the community they lived in. It was not only helpful in learning English, but the program used drawing and storytelling to help immigrant and refugee children build bridges between the past and the future. And the main themes were family, friends, home, to address the psychological distress and the children's ability to adjust in a bicultural world. I mean, at one time we would have like 50, 60 kids, and we would do it in an apartment complex in Southwest Houston, where these refugee families live, and we will just go meet in the park. And as you can see in the picture, that one of our volunteer, we did not have resources to hire anyone. I was a volunteer myself, and then the others would volunteer. Ton of University of Houston students and students from Rice, medical students, high school students, student from Harmony. So a lot of people wanted to help. So like in this one, you will see this student reading the book, and kids just love it. They would start coming even before we start the story, and then we would put the floor mats, and then the moms will sit there. That was just really heartwarming time. Next slide, please. And then, like I said, Chat Academy, it is started in 2017. It was in a storefront. Chat Academy was the after school homework help. And then at that time, we got a storefront. There was no running water, there was no bathroom. And this is in the Southwest area where there is a mosque, and student would run across the street if they had to use bathroom, and our volunteers would go with them. So since then, we have moved twice, actually 3 times after that. And currently, we do not have an academy anymore because we do not have the programming space. But last that we just recently moved from was a 3-bedroom apartment. And before the pandemic, we were doing the program in the 2 apartments, and there were a lot of kids who were benefiting from that. But then during the pandemic, we could not afford to keep that one, and we had to let go of it. And a lot of programs were not in person anyways, and it was really, really hard to do the online programming or virtual programming for these kids. Not only that they did not have the capacity, they did not have the laptops or computers, but also for a lot of young students, parents would help them to log in and then supervise. In this case, parents could not help them, so the remote programs were not very helpful even for HISD. And we do programs, and currently we are doing the program in HISD school and Baker Communities Center. So the academy is a massive effort, and we hired refugee women alongside our dedicated volunteer tutors to support the program. This effort has led community buy-in, as parents have come to trust Chat, and kids love to attend these programs. And they just, when they come to the academy, they just honestly didn't want to leave. And the academy could not be as successful if it wasn't for our collaborators, because we offer enrichment programs. Like you can see, there is a photography program, music, dance, theater, and that is only possible because of our collaborators, because we did not have resources to pay for these programs. But then we write the grants, and then the collaborators, for example, Houston Center for Photography or Photo Fest or Brave Little Company, theater company, they would help, and we would do those programs, and they were really, really successful. Next slide, please. This is a virtual program that's storytelling, and then you can see that we did it with the music artist, and this is the technology which is even beyond me, where how he was measuring it. And we realized that the art served as a psychological and educational tool to cross language barrier. It gives a voice to those who might otherwise stay silent. So in 2020 and part of 2021, we offered the virtual arts classes. In the program with Houston Museum of Fine Arts, children explored the work of professional artists and learned to apply art techniques and principles in creating art, and develop vocabulary and the confidence to talk about their own art and that of the professional artists. And unlike art class, the virtual music class was challenging. Like I said, it's very difficult to keep the children engaged. And then the other thing was like structured improvisation and graphic scoring. That's what you see in this picture, and the picture expresses the feeling of anxiety around performing, and the instructor was doing his best to encourage the students to continue to do it. And then in the same year, in 2021, we published our first art book that I will show you after this presentation, like I can share on the camera. Next, please. This is a women program. Like I said, we do a lot of women program. We do gatherings and have talks. We invite speakers, and in this one, like you know that the women, the other concerns that they expressed in our needs assessment was a combination of lack of hobbies and community engagement and the workforce skills for adults. So participants asked for evening classes that offered community members the opportunity to teach different skills, to come together and participate in mutual hobbies together, offer a unique opportunity to engage individuals who otherwise do not show interest in community engagement or community events. So in collaboration with the Photo Fest, 10 women were involved in a participatory photography project over a period of 1 month, in which they took and shared photographs and every day and engaged in storytelling and self-reflection through writing and dialogue. And this book is called Strive. So every day they will send a picture to the coordinator, and then they would write about that picture. And you can see in this slide that like a few pictures and the stories that they wrote. Currently, we are doing a sewing circle. So we bought 2 sewing machines, and then we added 2 more, and now move 2 more. So we are adding sewing machines, and there is one Afghan refugee woman who knows cutting and sewing, and she leads the circle. She also finished her community health worker course from University of Houston that we sent her to. So she's a certified community health worker, and then she leads actually the sewing circle. Women come, they sew, and they cut, they learn, but at the same time, this is their time where they socialize with each other, and they love that sewing class. Next, please. We are also we get interns and volunteers, and chat offer internships, fellowship, and volunteering opportunities. As the picture in this slide reflects, volunteers and interns are the backbone to our capacity building journey. They can also contribute to the pipeline of future professionals and nonprofit leaders. As a fellow intern or volunteer for chat, students contribute to the health and well-being of immigrants and refugee community, but at the same time they gain invaluable experience. It also gives them an opportunity to explore new career paths and enhance their skills. In 2019, all our pre-med volunteers and interns were accepted into medical school, and their experience at Chat Academy played a significant role in the accomplishment. And then there are Schweitzer Fellows who participate. I'm not sure if you know about the Schweitzer Fellows, but the Albert Schweitzer Fellowship is a program in all the schools in Houston area, like the colleges and universities, and then they send fellows to different organizations, and these fellows also come and they do the program with us. So this not only that the fellows or interns or volunteers help the community, but the community help them learning lifelong, very, very beneficial skills that they would not otherwise, excuse me, they would not otherwise learn in school. So this is how the program is twofold. Next, please. And in a mixed method study, our graduate school interns examined the association of mural installations in largely minority schools. Like I said, we are very heavily engaged in art, and a lot of programs we do through art, like I told you before, music, theater, and photography. So our 2 of the interns, they just work on an article that we sent for a journal, and they saw the impact of murals or art, the community art, on the students in school and students. This work is one of a very few that examines the benefit of improving the built environment in school and suggests that visual art is associated with improved perception of social capital, expanded social networks, and improved community well-being. And this is one of the ceremony where we made the murals. It's called the Gulfton Story Trail. As part of the trail, we made 12 murals. 3 of them were on the HISD school wall. So the HISD had a big mural dedication ceremony. Next, please. So this is the Gulfton Story Trail. Public art is an important part of shaping towns that strengthen community identity and pride. I think I'm running out of time. I see you're scrolling, but I can quickly just tell you that. So we made murals, and then if you would like, as a group, I can take you to a mural tour and show you around that what kind of murals we made. And these murals are very, very important because usually the community that we serve doesn't have the opportunity to go in the art galleries or go check out the art, but then the art came to them and that improved the community that they live in. And it's called the Gulfton Story Trail. You can Google it or you can check it on our website. Maybe you can go to the last slide and then my information. Then if people are interested, they can get more information through that. And I can still, I can go to my other meeting late, but if you have questions, I can definitely answer them.
Okay. All right. So I think Dr. Siddiqui has a few minutes if you guys want to ask any questions.
Well, I think I already got the answer. I was looking for a website so I could educate some volunteers that way to participate. And it's a beautiful, well, it's very rich what you have done. So
Thank you.
What is your website?
It's it wasn't on the last slide. It is, I can put it on the chat. It's chatpx.org.
Oh, good.
I can put it.
Chatps.
Chat. CHATTX.org.
CHATTX.org. Thank you so much. I think that would help a lot.
Thank you.
On a personal question, are you related to Dr. Zohra Siddiqui and Iqbal Siddiqui?
No. Siddiqui is like John.
Yeah. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Actually, I can also, I don't know if the number is there, but I can also write my phone number if someone is interested in talking or need more information.
Thank you.
And if anyone has any questions after you leave, I'll collect all those questions and email them to you.
Is there anything we could do as individuals, as as private citizens, or like contact our is there anything you would like us to do on this issue that we could do as private citizens?
Yeah, there is a lot that you can do. Initially when I started this nonprofit, I was just by myself, but it's just like programs like these and introducing chat to people and talking to them. We have come this far where we have now a staff of 10. Everybody is salaried and doing very well, thank God. So yes, you can volunteer. If you like, you can donate money, and a lot of times other organizations like the corporate world, they match funding. So if you are part of any of such organization, you can introduce chat to them, or maybe if they like more information, they can invite me and I can come give them a talk. Or there are many ways that you can be part of chat. Like volunteering is one of the big thing, and then donations or getting the word out. So those are actually the three major things.
Would you be willing to speak at a church?
Of course, yeah. I remember we take out the church group to the Gulfton Story Trail mural tour. It was the West University, some church in West University that they go, seniors sometimes go on tour. So that's another thing. And if I can take you all to the tour, but yes, I would love to speak at the church.
Thank you.
We have in the Gulfton area where our office and programs are, there is a Gethsemane church, if I'm not saying it wrong, and they are very, very supportive of our work, and we do a lot of partnership work.
Okay.
Two
Anybody else have any
questions if
questions
she's
for
got a
Dr.
chance.
Siddiqui?
Got,
Howard?
got two. Yeah. And when, okay, one, has she found some of the translation programs that are now available on the computers and the iPhones of any help in overcoming the language barriers?
No, those are, they just translate word to word. But what we do, we hire the women from the community. For example, for the Afghan community, we would hire Afghan women and send them to the community health worker training. And then they work in the community. Like, for example, if I come to their house, if I come to anybody's house, if I cannot talk to them, if I cannot speak their language, I cannot gain their trust. But these people speak the language, they go door to door. Like even for COVID vaccine, we first we did the health fairs, assuming that people will come and we will vaccinate them. They did not come. The lack of trust played that role, and then our community health workers along with the nurse went door to door, and we vaccinated more than 300 individuals just by going to their home, knocking on their door. Initially they were resistant, but then the community health workers who were from their community, from their country, explained it to them. And of course, it was easy for them to gain their trust, which I personally couldn't do because I couldn't communicate with them. And they all got vaccinated. So that's how we do it. Speak their language.
And are you having to deal with a lot of problems from the border, from translation, or is most of your things refugees from other countries, other ways?
Yeah, mostly refugees from other countries. I think there are 5 resettlement agencies in Houston, refugee resettlement agencies. So they set refugees in different parts of Houston. So I think in the Gulfton Southwest area, it's predominantly people from Asia and people from Middle East, people from Afghanistan, all like that. So very few Cuban, but mostly, and some African. So I think they adjust them like according to the region.
Uh, to me, that's curious because it would it would seem like the state with its problems in the border and refugees would be wanting to contact you and learn from what you have done, but that's not happening. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions before Dr. Siddiqui has to leave? Okay.
Excuse me. One other nit. Does she do any work with special needs people in the
We
community?
collaborate with an organization who work with the special need people. So yes, we can connect you to them.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that this is a very admirable effort, which is really a person to person thing that creates community.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, exactly. Because this is not something that we can do in masses. It's more gaining the trust one person at a time, one family at a time. So it's very, because I cannot even imagine what would I do if I were alone somewhere. I couldn't speak. It only thinking about it makes me suffocated. If I could not tell people what I wanted. I mean, I give you one example. This one mother, she came here. She was a young mom with 2 little kids, and she was pregnant, 6 months pregnant with the third child. It was June, and she was fasting. And then she had to go to the doctor just because they could not ask anyone. She walked 7 hours to go to the Hope Clinic from Southwest Houston, when the Legacy Clinic was at a 15-minute walk. So it's just not knowing is really sometimes very, very difficult. And not being able to ask someone, it was caused the hardship.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, Dr. Siddiqui, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us and letting us know what you are doing, the wonderful work that this is really noble work. And we all applaud you and if anybody is interested in helping Chad, whether it's a donation of time or talent or treasure, just go ahead and go to their website, and I'm sure that has all those opportunities listed that you can help that organization.
Yeah, and then also we have Instagram, Facebook. But thank you very much. It was really a pleasure meeting you all, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about something that's very close to my heart. Thanks a lot,
Thank
and
you.
you have a
Thank you.
good night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Wally. You want to give your report now? You're muted.
How's this?
It looks good. Okay. Very good. Good
Okay.
financial report.
So, as Bob was mentioning, we're hoping to secure some membership dues. We started the month of February with 6 members having paid their dues. At the end of February, we're now up to 12 members who have paid dues. And last year we had 19 paid members. So we would hope we would get that moved along a little faster. We haven't really had many expenses, a few $100s in envelopes and stamps and the like, but that's it so far.
Okay.
So just to remind everyone, individual dues are $20, couples are $30. We're trying to encourage students, and so student dues are $15, but if this is a student's first time, we're asking for only $5. And
Yeah, this is a student special, and it's good for 30 days, right?
well, I thought it was good for the first year, right? That any student that for the first year would only have to pay $5, and then the second year it'd be back up to up to 15, right?
Okay.
So, but we certainly would like to see all the dues paid up as quickly as possible. We've Mohammed's given out the address. We have a post office box you can mail your checks to. Amnesty International Local Group 1017. That's what the check should be made out to. Post office box 590918, Houston, Texas 77259.
Could you put that in the chat, Wally?
I can put that in the chat.
Yeah.
So unless there's any questions, that's the end of the
So how much money do we have in the bank?
$1,207.23 as of February 28th.
Okay. All right.
One thing I
Okay.
think everybody should know is that when you mail your letter, give it plenty of time to get there. I think it took mine 3 or 4 weeks to get there. Wally and Muhammad said, "You must not have put the right address." I put the right address, and finally it got there. So, but it's the joys, pride and joy right now, that postal service, I tell you.
All right. Okay. So we actually have speakers, really awesome speakers lined up for April, May, and June. You know, this is really awesome. So the April speaker, I want to thank Julie for that. April speaker is going to be talking on environmental justice. The May speaker is from Planned Parenthood, and thanks to Wally to securing that. And then in June, we have a speaker who's going to be talking about all the human rights violations that are going on in Sri Lanka. So we have all those all secured, and you'll start seeing details of those meetings fairly soon. This meeting, as usual, was recorded. I did not have my Zoom master with me, so it was a little bit of a challenge. My Zoom master is in Austin right now, but I think she trained me good, so I did it okay. I'm sure she'll find something wrong, but that's okay. And as soon as the link is available, I will share it with you folks. Any questions? Before we hang up, I think Bob is getting ready to go to Tampa tomorrow morning.
Yep.
I think he likes that governor there. He's been going to Florida a lot.
I had suggested that was the reason he was going, is that he's get personally close to the governor of Florida.
Well, you have to understand, I'm trying to give all dictators equal time. So I've already given Dan Patrick and Abbott all my time. I